What if your AI agent can mint an NFT, deploy a contract, or even buy a token? This is all possible using Goat SDK. Goat SDK is an open source library that has a bunch of on-chain action tools, which is a fancy word of saying instructions that communicate with the blockchain or do certain things on the blockchain. You can now use these tools provided by Goat SDK with your AI agent, giving your AI agents the ability to do things on-chain. This video is all about exploring Goat SDK and seeing how you can get started setting it up and also using the examples to demonstrate what Goat SDK can do. It stands for Great Onchain Agent Toolkit. That's the meaning of GOAT, not the greatest of all time. And it is the largest library of on-chain tools for your AI agents. So you can give your agent a wallet. You can give it the ability to transact on any chains, which is any of the chains supported by GOAT, of course. But the beautiful thing about this is that this is all modular. You can add your own wallet, you can add your own chain, you can add your own actions. You can even open source your plugins for other people to use with your ecosystem. A good example is this tool I built with Goat SDK for the Mode Hackathon, something that has happened a while back. And it uses the Goat SDK to power voice. I could literally talk to Rally, I call it Rally, and ask it, okay, what is my on-chain address? What is a bunch of things? I will not be demonstrating that in this video because this is not for that. And of course, my 11 Labs API case is probably already invalid by now. All right, back to the video. We're going to set Goat SDK up on our machine, and we're also going to use the examples to understand how beautiful this tool is. Let's go right to the tutorial at the end to see how to set up locally. I already have that open somewhere, and we're going to pull that up. The first step is to clone the Git repository of the project. I will leave links to the projects in the description of this video or somewhere on the screen. Let me copy that, head over to my terminal, and hit git clone paste. I already have the toolkit installed on my machine, so I won't run all these commands. I'm just going to show you the process. Once you have the project clone, navigate to the goat/TypeScript directory. So cd go/TypeScript, and back to we need to run the installation. pnpm install. The next thing is to pnpm build the project. Okay, now let's build the project. I'm just going to do pnpm build, and that is going to compile, mash up all the various things that has been done in the project and bring it to a use, all one big beautiful package. Okay, our SDK has finally completed the build process. I'm going to open the project now in my code editor. SDK has a Python and a TypeScript package with its own set of examples. But for this video, we're going to look at the TypeScript examples and the TypeScript packages. So right in the file browser, I'm going to go to TypeScript, go to the examples, and I'm interested in by framework. There are various categories of the examples that you could be interested in. I want to see the one that has to do with Vercel AI, where we're going to use the Goat SDK to do a bunch of things with our wallet address. So inside Vercel AI, I can open the index.ts. This is the example code that we are going to observe for today. Let me just pull this down. Okay. For this example, this project is using the Vercel AI SDK, pairing that with Goat to do a bunch of things with the wallet address you provide. So the very first thing that is important is to understand that it's going to create a wallet client. You need to provide a wallet private key. And to do that, you have a template that you can clone. So I have gone ahead to clone this template behind the scene. I have my environment variable file here. I won't be revealing that in the video because you need to keep your secrets safe. All right. So RPC provider URL, you can get this from anywhere, public or you pay for it. I have a public node that I use for this video. I can either use the mainnet or the Sepolia or whichever. But very important that whatever action you're taking is going to be executed on whatever RPC you provided. So if there's a mismatch in a number of things, you will get an error. So make sure to check that this is correct. So I have my RPC endpoint link, the Ethereum Sepolia RPC, and then there is the mainnet. There's the Sepolia. I can choose whichever one. The RPC provider URL, I'm going to paste that in, which is already here. Then my private key. To get my private key, I just need to go to my MetaMask, click on account details, show private key, and copy this. But I won't be doing that for you guys to see. So, because you need to keep your private key safe. So I'm going to put that there, which I've done. Then my OpenAI API key, I grabbed my API key from OpenAI and I plugged it in right there. So it's there. So that's how you can populate your environment variables. And once you're done with that, let's take a look at the code. Goat SDK has a plugin based ecosystem. So you have plugins for absolutely everything. If you go back to this, you can see we have a bunch of plugins. These are all plugins. These are all plugins. There's a plugin for 0x to get quotes and swap on 0x. There's a plugin for Allura. There's a plugin for Balancer. There's a plugin for Bird Eye. A bunch of plugins to do a number of things. For this example, we'll not be using most of all these plugins. We're just going to cherry pick, which is the beauty of Goat SDK. You can decide which you want to use. You don't have to install the entire catalog of plugins. You cherry pick and you have that in your code base. Now that we have that clarity, let's walk through the code to see what makes sense. So it's doing a bunch of things with VM, creating a wallet client, which what takes our private key and converts it into an account. The very important thing that we need to understand is the Goat SDK part. That's where it gets interesting. You see this Goat SDK, there's an adapter. So adapters are like interface that Goat SDK has written to interface with other frameworks, other tools. So there are adapters for Eliza. There's an adapter for Eliza. There's an adapter layer for LangChain and a bunch of others. Amazing projects out there. Beautiful. We are using the Vercel AI adapter and we are fetching the get Onchain Tools. This function takes the plugin from Goat and converts it into usable format for Vercel AI. And then we look at the ERC20 plugin, the PayPay USDC ERC. This is a bunch of like plugins provided by this plugin. Another important part of this code is saying where we are taking the tools and the wallets, the plugins, and using them to create the tools that will be available for our AI agent. So this section is one of the most important parts of what makes this code work. So we take the wallet, we plug in our wallet client, uses VM, makes it available for the AI agent. Then the plugins, we have sent it, we want it to be able to send Ethereum and also ERC20, give it a bunch of tokens that it can query, it can understand. These are all very important. The rest of the code is just cookie cutter code to make it can interact with the code in our terminal. Another important part is the section where it actually uses the Vercel AI SDK piece. So we have it generating text and using the OpenAI 4.0 model mini, passing it this bunch of tools from Goat. We're giving it the maximum number of steps, which is important because if there are multiple steps that your AI agent needs to take before it gets to an action, the desired action, you might need to cap it so it doesn't just keep spinning. So this is a point where you need to experiment and see what actually works for your AI agent. And then we are passing in the prompt from the terminal because I said this is going to be a terminal, an interactive mode in the terminal. I will show you what that means very soon. So, and also this is also like a hook, a callback hook that you can use to see all tools that the AI agent is using. So when it processes the prompt, it figures out the tools to use and we can see the types of tools it's calling. Now let's run our AI agent and see the magic. Right in my terminal, if you don't understand how to do that, there's a README file here. It walks through all the process and steps we took in the beginning part of this video, but we need to cd into examples, Vercel AI, so that we can run this code. I'm just going to grab that and do cd examples. And now we are inside the project. Now terminal, we have provided the environment variable. Let's now run this code to see our AI agent in action. Our code runs, it's prompting us to enter a prompt. I'm going to put in what's my wallet balance. And because we are console logging all the, remember when I said we're console logging all the tools, event.tool results, that is what is happening here. So what it does first is to get the address connected to the agent. Use that address to fetch the balance. Your wallet balance is approximately 0.0378 ETH. If I go to my wallet, I can see that I have the same exact thing here. And that is the beauty of Goat SDK. Now you can also write your own plugins. I'll be doing a sequence to this where I create a plugin live for you to see. And that's Goat SDK. It allows you to add actions that your AI agent can call and gives it ability to perform actions on chain and do a bunch of other beautiful stuff. And that's it for this video. If you want to know more, go to Goat SDK through the link somewhere around this video, or you can go to the Discord, which I'm also going to leave, or you can tweet at me on Twitter at Kwa with Stuff, and watch out for the next video where we're going to create a new plugin live. Thank you so much for watching this, and I hope this has been helpful. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.